serial blasts rocked Bodh Gaya. Continuing coverage only on Headlines Today.
Colleges across Maharashtra are mulling a proposal to ban mobile phones on campuses. The logic being that students use smartphones, mobiles to take obscene pictures and then post them on the net, indulging in cybercrime. With 18 lakh youth studying in colleges across the state, no one in the government has even planned how this would be implemented. And obviously, no one has bothered to ask the students.
Remember this incident? Legislators caught watching porn inside the state assembly in Karnataka. Now, one of their contemporaries in neighboring Maharashtra feels these smartphones encourage vulgar acts and students should stay away from them, at least while on campus.
स्टूडेंट को उनके माँ बाप मोबाइल लेकर देते हैं वो अच्छे कामों के लिए, किंतु कुछ जो स्टूडेंट्स है लेक्चरर लोग आगे पढ़ाते रहते हैं, इधर इनका अलग ही कुछ कारनामे चलते रहते हैं मोबाइल में, इससे बाकी के स्टूडेंट जो है क्लासरूम में उनका माइंड कंसंट्रेशन हटता है.
The state's education department has sent a circular to colleges across the city to get their opinion before moving forward on the proposal.
Here again in the college they use the mobiles for the same purpose, entertainment, listening to the sounds and chatting with their friends. It is not being used as the means of communication.
I'm holding a copy of the proposal that the state government is mulling over. A proposal which if passed would result in mobile jammers being installed in every college campus and translate to students not being able to use their mobile phones on campus.
It doesn't deviate us from anything. It actually helps us in our studies. I am doing microbiology from Bhavans. It is very useful. We almost refer to internet for everything. So it is quite useful for students.
Even if mobiles are not used, it is going to encourage the one who want to do that. So the ban on mobile is totally not done.
No, it's not. According to me, the mobile phones are the important factor in our life. Means without mobile, no one can communicate. Even the actual net, which was itself in the computer, now that has come to into the mobiles.
But in Maharashtra, it is fast becoming an issue that finds support within the moral brigade.
It's by far the most ridiculous proposal I've ever heard of, because I'm a college-going student myself, and I've never seen people using phones in classes. I think by banning or by saying that by banning cell phones in colleges you're going to reduce cybercrime, it's wrong, because you're holding each and every student as a criminal.
At a time when the need of the hour is to better the education system, our politicians seem to want to spend their time jamming the networks. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Joining us on the show this evening, Dinesh Panjwani, who is supporting the ban on mobile phones in colleges. Principal of RD National College is joining us. Also Majid Memon, National Secretary of the NCP. He's also supporting, obviously, the ban. And then we have Kavita Sharma, educationist, who says that this ban doesn't really make any sense. And Rahul Kanal of the Indian Youth Congress. He's a member of the Indian Youth Congress. Also, contrary to the NCP, he is opposed to this ban. We'll also be joined by Rishikesh Kannan in just a bit. But starting with you, Mr. Memon, since it is your party member, a fellow activist from the NCP who's actually come about with this suggestion, I'm just going to read out what he said. He said some students click pictures and videos of their classmates and friends and use it to blackmail them. To curb all of this, I've sent a suggestion to the Higher Technical Education Department to install cell phone jammers in the campus. I mean, my basic question to you, Mr. Memon, is there any data that corroborates that using cell phones and smartphones actually leads to cybercrime? I mean, a lot of us are very baffled. Perhaps you would have any data that actually corroborates this connection.
See, Maru, broadly speaking, we all are conscious of the fact that today in our whole country, right from Delhi to Mumbai and all other metros also, there has been an upward, spurt of offences against women, girls, and therefore there is a lot of noise, rape, molestation, teasing, etc., etc. So there are a number of ways and means which are being suggested to either eliminate those offences or curb them, or at least see that the graph
but is there any data that corroborates the two?
Now here naturally, you see, there have been number of complaints coming that, you know, the young girls who just join the college, and then if they are exploited or rather blackmailed or threatened or misused, all this kind. So in order to examine the possibility of within the constitutional provisions whether some kind of restriction
but
can be
imposing a
brought
ban,
in.
Mr. Memon?
Not imposing. See, therefore we have not straight away, the government of Maharashtra has not straight away imposed the ban. What is the government suggesting? The government is suggesting that the authorities, the college campus authorities, the principals, the deans, etc., must collect information and tell us whether it would be.
But why ask for a ban, Mr. Memon?
No,
there are
ban.
other ways of looking
Tell
at
me
the same problem.
See,
what you're suggesting.
cyber crime is a very clandestine and sophisticated kind of offense, and it is very difficult to detect, it's very difficult to punish.
Mr. Memon, are you suggesting that this clandestine operation is happening in our classrooms? Rahul, Kanal, I'd like to bring you in, because Mr. Memon here is suggesting that cyber crime of the sort that would obviously be curbed according to the NCP is actually happening in colleges.
Actually, ma'am, I would just tell you one thing. Out of 68% population in Mumbai, we have 48% which are students. And coming to Mr. Memon's opinion, I must tell him that there are only 17 cases as of now in cybercrime, which are in the format. And when he says that college students are involved in such crimes, there is not even a single case which lights us or takes us to a college student or someone who is
17 cases, Mr. Memon. You're trying to make it out so
Maru, see, 17 cases have been brought to notice. There may have been 1700 cases. And therefore, it's very difficult. Today, we are only examining the problems of vulnerable girls, the problems of students.
It is not a question of examining it, Mr. Memon.
Yeah,
the proposal clearly says that install jammers immediately, because according to your activist sitting in Aurangabad, he's decided, in fact, he had sent a suggestion 3 months back, that was rejected. It's come back, and now the proposal has been sent. My question is, at a time when there are so many other issues that our young students in colleges are facing, the NCP and the government now has made a big deal about this particular issue where you don't even have any data that corroborates.
You suggest the alternative. Well, all right, don't jam, don't prohibit, but then find out a way whereby you eliminate this nuisance from the society. All that we want is to cure.
But not with a ban, Mr. Memon.
We don't want to take away anybody's rights. We don't want to curtail liberties. We don't want to affect the freedoms. What we are working at is a possibility of seeing to it that such offences are either eliminated.
Let me ask Kavita Sharma. You're an educationist. Do you see the connection? I mean, are cell phones in any way distracting students in colleges? And B, are they a source of cybercrime? More importantly,
I don't believe in banning anything. These are young adults. You cannot curb everything by just banning things. As far as distraction is concerned, that's part of student life. When we were students, we used to pass chits to each other. So it's in a similar vein. So you can't just ban cybercrime or even trying to protect girls. If that is the issue, simply by banning smartphones in classrooms is not going to protect anyone at all. You just have to walk out of that campus and do what you want. So simply because you're there for 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours and you don't get to use the phone. In fact, no, 1 minute. It can also have very serious repercussions, because today people travel long distances, people have nuclear families, often there is no one at home, there can be sickness, there can be accidents. Then people have extracurricular activities, they participate in sports, etc. They need to be picked up, they need to be dropped, they need to tell their parents or whoever else, neighbors or whatever.
Madam, are you suggesting that while the lectures are going on in the classroom, you should permit the students to talk on
the phone? No, but if it's an emergency, why not?
So
if it's an emergency, why not, Mr. Memon?
No, nobody is suggesting that.
Naturally. You see, in courts also, in hospitals also.
No, but Mr. Memon, if there is an emergency, why not? Even if you have to use it in class, I'm sure both the teacher as well as the student understand.
Please try to understand what I am saying. I am not saying that a blanket ban thereby creating further problems.
So you are against what your own activist has said?
No, what I am saying is that there has to be a restricted, prohibition, so that these offences can be controlled, plus abuse can also be avoided, and this is all at the stage of consideration.
From you, I'm understanding, Mr. Memon, that you believe that this proposal should be watered down.
Proposal has to be examined.
There should be no ban.
Considered that, you see, whether the ban is infringing any fundamental rights, whether it is creating greater inconvenience to the students, as she has rightly said that there could be emergencies. Well, true. You will have to find out some alternate in case you are imposing ban.
Okay, Mr. Panjwani. Mr. Panjwani, let me bring you in, principal of the National College. You also seem to be supporting the ban. Now, we have Mr. Memon of the National NCP, who pretty much has said that this ban should be watered down. But you seem to believe that this ban should be supported. I'm very curious to know your reasons, sir. Okay, we'll go to Mr. Panjwani in just a bit. But Rahul, Mr. Memon seems to have kind of diluted his stand on the show. He's saying that this proposal should be watered down.
Ma'am, actually, just getting to one point, Mr. Memon knows that a few months back, there was a case in Karnataka Assembly, wherein a few ministers were watching porn. Then why not the activists go one step ahead and ban mobile phones in the assemblies and government offices as well? Because, you know, that is something wherein we have instance in hand where they show that they were watching porn in the assembly. And there is no substance as of now against college students. Then why against college students and why against the youth of Mumbai?
Mr. Memon, and to add to that, I'd like you to answer what Rahul has asked. And also, I mean, apart from the fact that there is no data that corroborates this, secondly, it also seems to be coming from a person who likes the kind of publicity that surrounds such a, you know, blanket ban, a diktat of sorts. Isn't it all about, you know, trying in a series of mindless censorship, as it's called? The latest, we saw the BMC come out with, you know, a ban on lingerie and mannequins and saying that's vulgar. Now you have another ban saying that what you do on phones is also amounting to obscenity, and students sitting in colleges are doing that. I mean, isn't it part of, you know, this political gimmickry that you see, especially in an election year?
See, let me tell you, Maruk, first, I am not supporting it even partially only because it is emerging from an NCP activist. That has nothing to do with it. We are examining it independently, whether NCP is supporting, whether government of Maharashtra is supporting or not. That's absolutely irrelevant. What I am trying to point out is this, that we will have to find out a midway whereby the liberty, the convenience, the freedom, etc. is also respected and taken care of, and at the same time, you know, we may ensure that if there is fear or apprehension that it is being abused to the extent that there are probably some clandestine crimes committed, or some girls are being exploited or blackmailed, or some you see, obscene things are happening, vulgar things are happening. Of course, the educational institute is also concerned with the morality of the student. So why do we take it as so very offensive that, well, our rights are taken away? We know that you are also students, you may need mobile phone for various communications which may be emergent in nature.
You raise an interesting point, Mr. Memon, of morality, which is why the entire moral brigade of Mumbai has come together and is supporting it. Even your arch rivals politically, the MNS, has come out and supported this ban. But Kavita Sharma, I want to ask you, there's one institute called the Burnage Media Arts College in Manchester that actually went ahead and banned mobiles on campus. And they say it's been one of the most dramatic moves that they've ever made, and cyber crime and cyber bullying on campus has actually come down. Perhaps there is some merit in what the NCP is saying and what the government is saying it's in its proposal, that maybe what happens on college campuses, the encouragement of cyber crime, cyber bullying, obscenity, putting those kind of pictures on the net, perhaps there could be a reduction?
See, I don't believe in that. I think at least at the college level, they are adults. They need to understand and be aware of their own ethical values. And I don't also say believe that it's the students, because anytime something goes wrong, everyone starts preaching value systems to the students. But this crime is not just among students, it's widespread. And in families, outside families, it has nothing to do only with the
no, as far as this operation is concerned,
and
we are
one minute now, just let me also complete. How do you propose to operationalize this? Are you going to do frisk everybody every morning and then frisk everyone in the evening?
I want to ask that question to Mr. Panjwani also, who's a big supporter of this ban.
May I just take one sentence?
Sure, go ahead.
See, I would only reply to her that, look here, we are not more concerned with regard to the people who are offensive.
Yes, Mr. Panjwani, 15 seconds. Go ahead, Mr. Memon.
See, if we are not more concerned with the people who are offensive, who are committing the crime, we are more concerned with regard to the people who are subject to this crime, who are the victims.
I want to just tell you, Mr. Memon, one thing, that all the cyber experts who we have spoken to here at Headlines today say that this idea of a ban is absolutely ridiculous, because the same students can actually take those photographs on campus, go outside campus and put them on the net. Telecom services are not required to actually do the kind of things that those who indulge in cybercrime do. So that's one point that needs to be made. Mr. Panjwani, let me come to you. Two valid points here that have been raised by our your fellow panelists. One is this: how do you plan to actually execute this ban, if at all it comes about, because you are a supporter of it? There's so many youngsters who come with cell phones into your college. And secondly, what are the reasons that you personally go for in supporting this ban?
Okay, can I speak?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, see that the first point is this, that it is a matter of concern today, the use of mobile by the students in the college campus. In the classroom, even if when the teachers are requesting students to keep it in the silent mode or off mode, phone keeps on ringing. They are talking on the corridors. When they are passing on the corridor, they don't realize that the other lectures are going on. So these are few concerns. We have also noticed, we have caught the students making use of mobile in the examination to copy from it.
Mr. Panjwani, are we talking about discipline? Are we talking about discipline, or are we talking about crime? Because this proposal very specifically says that this is about obscenity and crime, not about discipline.
Yeah, that is what I was giving you. I was giving you that example also, that sometimes, many a times, the girl students have come to us and they have said that so and so boy have clicked my picture. Now it becomes a very difficult task for the college administration to devote a lot of time in handling these kind of complaints. Then we have to confiscate the mobile phone of the student, we have to erase the pictures, we have to call their parents, we have to counsel the students, and sometimes, many a times nowadays, that the teachers have to take round consistently in the campus so that the mobile phone is not misused. So this is the one of the reasons that is we are saying it is that the use of mobile phone should be banned within the campus. We are not saying that they should not carry the phone.
Rahul, I see you nodding your head. Rahul, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ma'am, there should be designated areas, and we should evaluate things. Why not awareness programs? Solution is not curbing mobile phones in the campus. We can surely come in with awareness programs, as there are sex education programs available in the city. Why not education programs on this? And why not evaluate the thing first and don't haste it right now? They are just going against the students.
First of all, we have to identify. We first agree that at such and such places in the college campus, the mobile phone should not be used. But what we are saying it is ban or not ban. That is not the matter of discussion.
That is the matter of discussion. Mr. Panjwani, that is the matter of discussion. Mr. Panjwani, the idea is that should there be a blanket ban on mobile phones? That's the basic idea of this discussion. We're not talking about discipline. Of course, we don't want mobile phones to be used while in the classroom. We are talking about whether these smartphones lead to cybercrime.
See why?
And my final question.
Why we should be all?
My final question to Mr. Majid Memon of the NCP, who seems to have already diluted his stance since the time he came in. He feels that there needs to be a talk and not perhaps a blanket ban, but a better look at what exactly happens with smartphones. I just want to give you a little amount of data that we have. That as per the latest numbers that have come in.
Just give me 30 seconds.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
See,
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
My producers are telling me that the time is up, so 30 seconds.
Okay, what I am saying it is why we always discuss the extreme things. Why we should not discuss the pros and cons and find it out.
Mr. Panjwani, the ban is extreme. This ban is extreme, which is the reason why you're discussing it with all the other eminent panelists. Final round, since I'm completely out of time. Mr. Majid Memon, is this practical or not? Very briefly.
You see, naturally the practicability, applicability, etc. is to be examined. This is experimentation. You know, we are not just saying that, well, if we are imposing a law and you...
Not practical. Not practical. Kavita Sharma,
I think
practical or not practical?
No, not
How can we
practical.
experiment? We are not an
would
object.
it also extend to the non-teaching staff and to the staff members also and
Very
to
valid
visitors
point.
also?
Very valid point. Rahul?
Yes.
Ma'am, first of all, 2% of the population is deciding what the 70% of the population has to do in the state. Ridiculous. Why not take students in the panel? Why not take students in the panel and let them at least discuss it with the government and with professors and teachers involved in it?
All right, Mr. Panjwani, very quickly, why not take students in the panel?
See, what is as I said, that instead of discussing the extreme points, we should be discussing the right use of technology, which should not hamper the environment of the education institutions.
All right. All right, completely running out of time.
Of course.
Thank you so much to all our panelists for joining us.
We are taking into consideration that.
All right, at the end of it, Mr. Panjwani, point well taken. At the end of it, the students should be consulted is what Kavita Sharma says. And finally, as far as smartphones equaling to cybercrime, well, the NCP and the member of the party here on Newsnight has diluted his stance. So let's hope that this proposal does not see the light of day, or at least has some amount of technological ramifications in. We're going to take a short break, but up next, as India's enemies join hands to fuel terror with false propaganda, our netas are too busy indulging in a blame game. Stop politicizing terror is our focus on Center Stage with Rahul Kanal. Coming up next, stay tuned.
जरा छूने दे मुझे.
The power of touch, perfected by Acer. Acer tablets and touch laptops. Acer, explore beyond limits.
Life is a journey in which we're all travelers, looking to make that great trip with someone. Journeys are made by the people you travel with.
Hello, let me show you an exciting new smartphone. It directly calls the person you're texting when you bring it close to your ear. Then it has a 5-megapixel wide-angle front camera, while the rear camera has panorama mode. Just gesture and it opens your favorite app. Well, there's lots more. Jelly Bean 4.2, 3G plus 3G dual SIM, quad-core processor, 16GB ROM. Now, can you guess which brand this is?
Sam.
No. Want to try again?
No.
Presenting Spice Pinnacle Series, 1UP.
अरे कोई है, धक्का मार दो यार.
अगर क्वालिटी यूज्ड कार लिया होता तो जिंदगी रुक नहीं जाती. Come to Toyota You Trust. Choose from a wide range of Toyota certified used cars that have gone through stringent 203-point quality checks. Toyota's value-added services. क्योंकि non-stop जिंदगी में full stops नहीं होते.
मुझे पता है तेरे पास पावर है, पैसा है, लेकिन मेरे पास पब्लिक है. Mind it.
I love you. She's mine. Only mine.
Morelato time.
स्मार्ट सरदार जी, इनका सलूट. इंडिया का कोट पाना है? ऐसे नहीं मिलता इंडिया का कोट, कमाना पड़ता है, मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, दौड़ना पड़ता है उसके लिए.
Hello, let me show you an exciting new smartphone. It directly calls the person you're texting when you bring it close to your ear. Then it has a 5-megapixel wide-angle front camera, while the rear camera has panorama mode. Just gesture and it opens your favorite app. Well, there's lots more. Jelly Bean 4.2, 3G plus 3G dual SIM, quad-core processor, 16GB ROM. Now, can you guess which brand this is?
Sam.
No. Want to try again?
No.
Presenting Spice Pinnacle Series, 1UP. लड़के ने लड़की को बताया कि वो कितनी सुंदर है, कि उससे सुंदर दुनिया में कोई नहीं है। लड़की ने लड़के से बोला कि वो दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा उससे प्यार करती है। नहीं। तो कब बोलेगी? कब बोलेगी?
Wrinkles.
Try new Lactocalamine Renew. It's Ulma E rebuilds collagen.
Nice, but...
9 organic extracts moisturize.
Good, but...
And NAM restores the lost glow.
Great, but proof?
Right inside. And they actually show your wrinkles going, gone.
Lactocalamine Renew. We don't just promise, we show. With proof.
Legacies are not designed or created. They evolve from vision, values and perseverance. Reason why leading universities join us to offer a global learning experience. We are Ansal University. We create history as we design the future. Ansal University, spanning decades in education.
इस दिन का सबसे सुहाना पल कौन सा है, क्या कहता है घर आजा।
India Bulls Home Loans. घर आजा।
This is the TV Today Network, and you are watching Headlines Today.